Welcome back to Level Headed Gamer, guys. My name is Joseph. Today we got a little bit more information on Monster Hunter Rise, on Switch skills, and the Rampage Quests. I want to do a deep dive of both of them and kind of break down all the things, all the information we got, and do a deeper breakdown of each of the elements. Let's start with Switch skills right away. So starting with Switch skills, we've got one example from the Switch axe. You'll be able to basically equip 3 different skills at once, relegated to different button prompts. And I want to kind of go through each one. First one we got was a condensed element slash. While charging, elemental energy gathers on the sword to strengthen it and generate a powerful bash attack. The damage dealt by the sword temporarily increases and incurs additional damage, reinforces the sword with the skill, however requires the shield to also be elementally boosted, and you could just activate it by holding down X and releasing it at the right time. But what you'll be able to switch it over to is going to be the condensed spinning slash, which is what we see in the gameplay, and that activates an elemental regeneration system while charging. The shield rotates and acts as a spinning saw blade, which to me was the more attractive option, and this technique switches the weapon into an axe mode, allowing multiple hits until the mode is disengaged. Longer hits in axe mode turn energy into files. Again, activated the same way as the other one by holding down X, so it's relegated to certain buttons, and we can see it's gonna be boosted in attack by having a resistance set bonus. We see here with 5 different pieces, so the armor kind of plays into it as well. It's gonna be really interesting what kind of abilities we get for weapons overall, and I can see how it's gonna change the way the weapons perform and the way you play with each of the weapons. It reminds me of the arts from Generations that we had, more Monster Hunter Generations, but they were on a cooldown, where here they're not on a cooldown. They just change literally the kind of combos we'll be able to create. And I want to go to the next one, which is the morph slash. Sword to axe, axe to sword, that's the basis of Charge Blade, to be able to switch between the two. But right as the one begins switching to an axe, or right is about to finish switching to a sword, the shield is raised to block incoming attacks, which again gives you a little bit of the defense for the enemies attacking you, because defense in general in this game is a big one. But really the second ability that you get there, the counter morph slash, acts almost the same way. This one's not as a drastic change, but it's more defense focused switching attack with a longer blocking effect. The weapon can block attacks as switching to either axe or sword mode, and if attack is successfully blocked during the switch, the follow-up elemental discharge slash damage increases. So yeah, there's a kind of things to play around with here, and I'm going to be interested to see how many different variations we're going to get for each weapon, because that's really going to tell you how much variation you'll be able to create within each weapon, especially for some simpler weapon. Like for example, I always thought the longsword is a pretty simple weapon to play and master. How is it going to be changed with these abilities? Is it really going to kind of up the different variations of attacks and setups you'll be able to create? Because for example, I want to focus on this last one here, counter peak performance, right? The first one here is pretty simple. It's just you'll be able to dodge out of the way. It's like if the attack is successfully blocked, files are filled, and you can lead into various attack focus actions. A guard technique using wirebark silk. Now, this one's kind of simple. What I want to focus on here, this is where it starts changing, because the last one we get is an axe hopper, and that basically changes the way this move has been performed, whereas before it's been kind of on the ground. Now the slam attack is overhead, using recoil and iron silk to propel yourself in the air. While going upwards, you can unleash a powerful elemental discharge, which one you'll be able to perform with A or X and A. Now this is interesting because now you're sending yourself up in the air for a downward attack. Now this is kind of the skills I'm going to be looking for that really switch up the attacks. For example, what if I don't like the great sword in Monster Hunter Rise to be able to charge up into the air and then slam down? Now, I don't find it to be as useful, and some people found that one to be very easy to miss your target. So let's switch out to something that's going to be more on the ground. And it's going to be a nice way to be able to play around with all the different things we'll be able to do. And I think that's a really nice addition. And it's different from the arts that we got in Generations by not having a cooldown. And it'll be nice to have, I think, like 5 to 6 options per each skill, per each button prompt for each weapon. Holy crap, it's those 14 weapons that we have in the game are really gonna kind of thrive under this kind of variation. The next thing I want to talk about is going to be their Rampage Quest. And it was nice to see them giving more kind of details on it and how you have to take down, you know, like each enemy, each of the monsters is going to be marked with the priority if they're attacking the gate, if they are more aggressive towards hunters, if they're going to be shooting down from the top. You know, you'll be able to set up different kind of ballistas or turrets or whatever it may be, automated or traps or whatever. It's like you can even get the AIs to kind of help you and do some massive damage once per quest. And it's going to be really cool to see what kind of rewards you get. What is the benefit of doing this quest overall? Is it going to give some kind of extra rewards that you wouldn't get somewhere else? Because before, for example, in Monster Hunter World or Monster Hunter Generations, you would do some of these bigger quests because you would find a monster that was only available in that quest. Now, what is the difference between fighting here? Just doing a bunch of them at the same time. And I also saw how they're balancing it. Is that at certain points during the quest, your attack is going to be up, your attack damage is going to be up. So it looks like you'll be taking these monsters down much quicker than regularly you would, so that you can take them out one by one. Not to mention the apex monster they mentioned, which is kind of look like the tempered version of the monster, as well as the bigger threats. They say like the more immediate threats you have to take out. Now the explanation for this quest is kind of simple. It's like the attack patterns are going to be simple, the setups and kind of the teamwork is going to be really interesting, which kind of brings me back to the fact that there is no chat in this game. So it looks like, I think it's gonna, for the higher level takedowns and cooperation with people, what you'll either have to be playing locally or using Discord chats, right? Finding groups on forums and Facebook groups to team up together and talk on Discord, because I feel like something like this quest really is going to require a lot of teamwork. But it's also nice to know that you can play this solo and you can beat it solo. They're always reiterating that the difficulty scales based on how many players are in the room, and that's nice. For example, I know mostly I'm going to be playing this game solo just because it's on Switch and I'm on the move a lot. So it's going to be a nice way for me to get a couple of quests in every time I'm traveling. But overall, all the information we got this presentation was more limited, but in my opinion it was a little bit more useful because they really explained what the switch skills are. We got a full quest from the Gas Harag and the whole takedown. We got to see at first I didn't think the guy was playing very well, but by the end of the quest he kind of picked up his game and really just like took care of the monster right away. I thought it was a really fun little presentation. It's going to be interesting to see a bunch of our YouTubers on the live session tomorrow and just to see what they're going to be playing like, because I know Arx, he's like one of the top guys for the Monster Hunter Rise or Monster Hunter community overall, so it'll be nice to see that. But guys, that's all I got for you today, is just the two skill switches and the Rampage Quest, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Peace out. Tune in next time.